Oh, landmines and jellyfish! Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and I've hidden a spoonful of applesauce in one shoe of one of the viewers of this video. Let me know in the comments if you are the lucky winner. But we just did another Cardboard Slayer live stream, and for the guys that were there, thank you so much. We had a good time in the chat. It was active, and it was a great live stream. But I rolled the magical 20-sided die, and the die picked out this from 4 Knives. And this is a piece of crap Smith Wesson from the first season of the Super Budget Showdown, and it took 10th place in that showdown. That should tell you how much I like this knife. Second week in a row. So I have knives that I really don't want to do Cardboard Slayer with for various reasons, but I put them in the box for you guys so we can pick out some stuff that maybe I don't like so much, but might be entertaining to watch. And this was one of the knives I really didn't want to do Cardboard Slayer with. But let's take a look at what we're holding here. So we got a flipper tab, and our pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. We got thumb studs on it, and let's flick the bean. Garbage detent. Absolute garbage. And we got a kind of modified Tanto blade right here. And this thing, when I carried it for the Super Budget Showdown, if I remember right, and don't quote me on this, but it's been a while, the pocket clip was okay, the retention was okay, the comfort in the waistband was alright. I think this dug in a little bit, but the build quality was, the assembly quality was absolute garbage. The pivot was so loose that there was blade rattle pretty much right out of the gate, and it only got worse as I went. I tried my hardest not to work on these from the factory to give them all a fair shot. Once that was over, I did take this apart. I did work on the lock here, trying to put a little bit more pressure on the blades so that the detent would work better. And this is a lot better than it was out of the box. And, I got it working to where it's passable as something that would function the way I'm okay with. But the ergos on it sucked. Generally, the whole thing sucked. Gun manufacturers put their name on the worst knives consistently. I really wish they'd turn that around and do something similar to what Harbor Freight did with the Icon knife, only with original designs. A quality knife that is worth carrying, that's put together well, that feels good. It's just, and the Harbor Freight Icon knife, they just ripped it off from Beg Knives. That's the only thing that really holds that back, is it's a complete ripoff. I know a lot of y'all don't care. I do, and I made some conjecture at what I thought was happening until I had contact with the guys from Beg Knives and got it cleared up. So, we did about 3 hours of Cardboard Slayer on this thing, and let me tell you right now, the ergos straight up suck. This part of my hand is slowly becoming less red, and there may be a blister popping up right here, but this hurt so much the entire time. Having to hold this thing to get purchase on it for cuts because it's so small definitely punished me. And, a small knife isn't so bad. It's just the ergos aren't put together well for, long-term comfort. And this blade is definitely not meant for what I did to it. This has got a fairly deep hollow grind, especially for something so small. And you can kind of tell what's happening there because the adhesive that stuck to it is right here on the edge and right here, but there's next to nothing in here. And the other CR series steels that we did picked up a whole ton of hairline scratches across the whole blade pretty much because of what the cardboard does to it. And in here on this hollow, there's absolutely nothing. There's like a few light scratches, but other than that, it's as it came from the box pretty much. So that took a lot of force to wedge it in there and really get through those cuts. I was not happy with that experience pretty much the whole 3 hours. And it did this is 8CR13 steel, and it did exactly what other CR series steels did. The first hour, I did strop this before we started because it's already been through a round of a much more mild Cardboard Slayer, but I pushed that until it quit shaving and until the cut on the copy paper started getting a little bit loud. But, that wasn't like a true Cardboard Slayer like we do now. And at the 2 hour mark, the cut started getting a little bit loud, and at about the 3 hour mark, we started seeing worn spots in the blade. Now, this could have gone for another hour, maybe 2 hours, I'm not sure, but I had to cut it at 3 hours so I can go get myself put together for work tomorrow's, and I couldn't cut with this thing anymore at that point anyways. And, guys kept saying, well, swap it out. No, that's not the point behind having a D20 pick a knife at random. And so overall, everything about this was a fairly bad experience. I'm really not too happy with anything about this knife, really, outside of, now that I've put everything back together and adjusted this and got the pivot screw happy, it functions as a knife. This is definitely like a beater knife. This is a abuse and abandon knife. This is one you throw in the toolbox, and if you lose it, you're not going, oh my God, I lost this thing, and spending the next 10 years wondering, where did that knife actually go? I wish I still had it. No, this is one that you just do not care about whatsoever. And this is like $11 on Amazon right now. I only discovered that because I had to go look at the purchase history to see the specs on it to find out what steel it was. So this was definitely one that I did not enjoy using. I did not enjoy cutting with. And, I'm becoming less and less hostile towards smaller knives as I'm carrying more of them and getting used to them. The utility is there. The ease of carry is there. Like, they're a bit easier to deal with than larger knives. It's just I prefer, like, for a general purpose carry, I prefer a 3 to a 3.5 inch blade. I love my pocket swords that are going 4 inches plus. Like, I love those things. But blades below 3 inches, I'm getting used to them, and I'm starting to see the light with those things. This one, like, watch this. First, you see it, and now it's pretty much gone. Like, I definitely, my hands are a bit too big for this thing. And like, for carrying everyday use and light-duty cutting and stuff like that, just ripping open boxes, not that big of a deal. Environments I've been in the past where you have to really push these things, no, absolutely not. Again, throw it in your toolbox, throw it in your tackle box. If you lose it, you don't care. But I did give it a very, very thorough stropping. Like the CEO, I didn't spend that much time stropping it, and it showed. Like, the edge wasn't everything it could be, so I gave it a lot more time on the strop. And I'm getting some copy paper right now, because of course I forgot to do that before I hit record. But let's see what we got here on the edge after stropping. So, like, it's stropped up really nicely, and that's more of the quality of the strop. We know what ACR13 is. We know it's a good budget steel. We know it holds its weight. It did exactly what ACR13 does. So I can't really complain about the blade steel itself or the heat treatment. It's just everything else. The ergos, the detent, everything else on it's just garbage. And of course, I've made mention of this many times, but this particular paper out of this notebook is really hard to get a good cut on. If you've got any edge problems or it's a little bit dull, it just doesn't cut. So, it took the edge. And just because we're doing cuts, let's check the newsprint out. Yeah, it's like you're cutting water. So that's just more showing off the strop. It takes the edge. It holds the edge fairly well, just like every other CR Series steel we've done. So, it's just, if you see this, flat out, don't buy it. Like I said, everything about this sucks except for the steel. The steel held up as well as any other 8CR we've done. So just wanted to share the aftermath of Cardboard Slayer with you and how this thing did. All that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, oh my God, we just got over 900. I am so grateful for that. Like, we are getting closer to 1,000, and every 100 that I pick up, the next 100 comes a little faster. So thank you guys so much. Like, I genuinely appreciate the fact that guys watch this and get something out of it. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing, or, what do you think about the knives that are branded by gun manufacturers? And maybe you have some that you've had a good experience with, but for me, everything I've had has been trash, and everything I've seen from everybody else that's had them has been trash. So, yeah, all that being said, Y'all have a nice day.